To the second game that I've casted while being late at this Intergalactic Coliseum number 6. In this game we are on the map the spine of the great god Zeus. A brilliant game, but brilliant person, but let's have a look. On the bottom we have the AIX squadron. Let me just check who's actually playing for the AIX in this game. Well, the AIX are playing the OS. Let's start this way. The OS is teamed with Brainwashed, the good old-fashioned Mr. Smith, as well as Lameless. And the AIX team is the Man of Action, Morax, and Kavoyox. So this is going to be an interesting game. So if we just go around the map. I've just literally downloaded this. So let's have a quick scout of the map. It's pretty much a turtle map. Is that mass ice? No, that's not mass. Yeah, it looks like pretty much a turtle map at the moment. We've got quite a few it's a spreaded map. Spreaded mass points quite a while, so this looks like quite a good, decent map to have a fight on. Can't take too easy. It's a long way to the enemy's base, and it's pretty much you start with 1 to 8 mexes in your immediate vicinity. So this is looking to be, well, quite a longish game. This map, I'd say, is more dominant for the air people than anything else, really. So yeah, so it's more air. If we have a look at the start, we have Lameless going air. So yep, we've got Mr. Smith probably going to be spamming land by looking at his second factory, and we have Brainwashed going air. So the two side people at the top for the OS are going air. Mr. Smith is going to be enforcing the brute of the Cybran Force via land. Let's have a look at what the AIX is doing. Korozovic, Calverox is going air and possibly a mixed land. Morax is also going air second, while we have Man of Action going immediately for air factory. So that's quite an interesting start by Man of Action, because it takes about 3 to 4 seconds for an engineer to build on the air factory, as well as be transported off, as we have a look here. However, a land factory gets built, comes straight off, no delay. So if we have a look at the current strategies in play, so as we can see, Mr. Smith is going for a spread out land scout radar party. Brainwashed is done exactly the same, however the enemy team is opting for scouts, so is Lameless, and he's also gone and got a air factory up near his hydrocarbon power plant, Mr. Smith. So he's doing a little bit of air scouting as well. So Mr. Smith is also bringing his ACU into play in the middle of the map. So we have the first kill going to Morax of this game. So obviously this is going to be an interesting game. Let's have a look how many mass extractors each team have to play with then. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 12 for Brainwashed if you take all of them on the left hand side of the map. We've got 12 for Lameless, which is the same on the other side of the map. So Mr. Smith will be doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So not much difference for off the overall map usage than the people on the sides. But pretty much we do have an early scout force. Look at them going around so slow. You can see them in the background. There we are. And they're about to be scouted by Brainwash's transport. Yep, Brainwash's transport has them in sight, so he does know they're there. And his team, Mr. Smith, has pinged it, so Brainwashed is fully aware that there is an enemy squadron coming around there. We do have an early Mantis and a Mole rush coming up through the middle. But however, we do have MA-12 striker tanks making their way to defend them and against any assault there. As we have a look, we've got an MA-12 shooting at 2 labs and a scout. And missing a 3 of 4 shots. So one scout, one robot chicken's down. However, the Mantis is making its way through. A nice, there we go, in the back, just in the background you can see another tank coming up to assist it. There we go, Mantis is now dead, and so is the Mole. So, we've got a land rush coming from both left and right players for AIX. Yeah, as we can see, to reclaim the mass from that long range, they're using the attack command straight out the factory. It's brilliant because it reduces the patrol time. And anything else? We do have a forward base by Brainwash. Brilliant tactic. Such a big long map. Why go to the fight when you can bring the why go to the fight when Brainwash can clearly bring the fight to his forward base? That's a beautiful tactic. But will he have enough build power there off 2 factories to be able to keep that factory there? However, we do have a drop coming on into this area from a transport, so obviously the T1 radar will see that. So if you have a look from the point of view from Morley, from Morax, as we can see though, early domination in this map has gone to OS, purely because of what Brainwashed has actually done brilliantly well. As we can see there, just to make the team aware of an incoming transport drop, and it is an MA-12 striker tank that has been dropped. So early advantage of this map is going to OS, just because of what Brainwashed has actually done on the scale of things. We do have a land rush coming from Lameless, but we do have 2 rogue Mantises in Brainwashed's department, so to speak of, and obviously now Brainwash is using them 2 land factories to produce emergency land to fend off against these 5 Mantises. So obviously his engineer, however, is not immune to the 5 Mantis spam and is being killed in quick succession. But we do have Kozvich, Kaviox, halfway between both bases. So AIX's left player is in the danger zone. But we do have quite an aggressive and amusing land spam coming from Morvax, which is resulting in Mr. Smith building T1PD. We do have a scout, which is being quickly scuffed out by Lameless, because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units heading straight towards him. So that is brilliant. Brainwashed is being alerted to his ACU presence of his enemy commander in his half of the field, a lot far out. So for any reinforcements to possibly come. As we can see though, this map is quite big, so for the first 8 minutes, there has relatively been no type of fighting, so to speak of. As we can see, we have massive scouting army going on from the Man of Action on Lameless, because he wants to know what Lameless is actually planning on doing. Yeah, however, he does have T2 air factories up, he does have T2 mass extractors, so Lameless has really just concentrated on teching at the moment, because, well, map is so big, he doesn't really need to do anything else. He can tech because he's not in any imminent danger. But we do have Mr. Smith though getting flak and walled and shields because he knows the enemy is in range or is coming in with the big spam of the game so far, and he's got them all grouped together, which will cause Mr. Smith a problem if them artilleries, if he has any in the... Oh, that's an epic fail. Morax doesn't have any artillery in his lineup. He has 2 artillery in his entire army. Oh, that's a big fail. But then T1 PD's walled. He can't do, them tanks won't do anything. Oh, that is an epic fail there by Morax. That is an epic fail. Because his units are just going to get more down by the walled PD. However, on the other side of the map, Brainwashed from his early advanced base has launched a nice counter-offensive against Korlax. He does have 4 moles, he does have 2 artillery, but he has 12 tanks, which are the brute of the UEF T1 army and do cause trouble. But if Brainwashed is allowed to tech to T2 and spam T2 air gunships, or even T2 pillars, he will put a dent in any enemy that will be assaulting him. However, Morax is completely left the middle of the map, where Mr. Smith has been turtling to circumvent it and push straight through to Mr. Smith's base. However, on the right hand side of the map though, Lameless is doing what Morax is actually doing to Mr. Smith. He has absolutely got an endless array of spam. Even with T2 air, that is one hell of an array of T1 spam. You would have thought. Oh yeah, there we go. We've got gunships coming up from Man of Action. So Man of Action has actually just turtled, teched up his air, and then we'll start be doing stuff. But we do have T2 land coming out from Coverox. Let's have a look. Is it a T2 HQ? Yes, it is. It's a T2 HQ off his hydrocarbon power plant. That's fair enough. And let's have a look what he's got in there. He's around here somewhere. There it is. It's a T2 rocket bot. So that early offensive did do damage to the enemy. However, it has left a nice little trail of attack. As we can see though, the circumvented land units that Morax left from the middle of the middle of the map, that Mr. Smith did not cover off efficiently enough. Not that you actually can cover that off, because T2 PD is absolutely small radius as hell. He'd have to build an entire array of 3 different bases to be able to accommodate that big of a gap. But as we can see though, Mr. Smith is undergoing assistance by Brainwash with his T2 gunships. He does have the Mantis spam, which is coming out of his base, stopping anything else. He also is using his Mantises in a very controlled way. He's just shadowing Morax's units at this moment in time. So it keeps them units out the way of the bulk of Morax's unit. But he can able to just shoot off one or two to be able to do big damage. As we can see though, the T2 gunships of Man of Action is doing the damage. He has so-called fended off Lameless's attack so far from the air, but Lameless does have the air to be able to cover it off really, but he isn't actually using it yet. However, he is now, as we can see. The entire offensive of Lameless will now be going via protected air support from the interceptors and the T2 interceptors. However, Man of Action will not risk his interceptors. Oh, he has risked his interceptors. Bad move. If you're going to use gunships, always have them supported, no matter what. Because otherwise, you're just going to lose them like he did there. And it's pretty much quite a bit of eco he's actually invested into getting them T2 gunships. And they've just been wiped out in a matter of seconds. See though, we've got a little fight going on the right hand side of the map with the air. Lameless's T2 mixed with T1 isn't coping too well. But he is pulling his air back. He has got 4 T2 left. So that's pretty much of a big massive fail. As we can see though, another fail. There we go, gunships. Systematically taking out the AA support of the land, I think. Nope, he's just randomly killing, but he is accompanied along with Mr. Smith, as well as Brainwash's own interceptors to cover off the gunships. However, Morax and Corveox has focused fire on the gunships themselves. No matter what happens, they won't take out the interceptors, they'll just take out the gunships. However, the gunships are actually doing the damage. He does have 5 left. Does he have any more incoming to assist in this? No, he's got interceptors to cover them off. So he does have 5. So Morax is in big trouble now. He doesn't have any air support. However, Man of Action has the air to be able to delete them interceptors, which he has now focused on doing, but it's too late. Morax is down to 1,000 health. 1,900, 800, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First kill of the game goes to Brainwashed. He has took out the middleman. So Mr. Smith now has the option of attacking Corax or help Lameless attack Man of Action. So the first kill in this game goes towards the OS Subcoordination. And AIX has taken a big hit on this very big occasion. So now there is no give in the bit. So there is no give. He is wide open through the middle now, which, as we can clearly see, that is what Mr. Smith is actually doing right now. He has demolished, well, with assistance from Brainwash clearly, but Brainwash has took a big hit trying to kill the middle. So he is now suffering big time with a big massive assault by Lameless, but he has got T2 bombers, T2 fighter bombers, and actually the best option at this current moment in time. But he does have a T2 land factory. He is getting the second one up right now. and is going to be spamming pillars. He does have 5 pillars in action at this current moment in time, but he needs around 20 for this, for it to even equal out to be. However, Man of Action is being put into a big dip, but the action is not over in Man of Action's half, because Lameless has got him by a needle. He's got him by a thread as well. A big Aeon thread. Yeah, I wouldn't be like to be on the end of Lameless's attack there. However, we do have Cavoliox pushing big style with rocket bots, with hoplites and mantises. He's using all this. He's pulling all the stops out. However, there isn't enough pillars, but the pillars can out macro, but they can't kill the entire spam at this current moment in time that Cavoliox has actually brought upon him. If he pulled the pillars back and grouped them, so there was more of them to become like a little deterrent, so to speak of, as there is no reinforcements for that attack force. If it's not successful, then that attack force is gone, and it pretty much leaves Cavoliox ACU in big trouble. But we do have Mr. Smith really starting to push on the right hand side of his bottom of his base, but the action is now in his main base. He has pillars, he has walls, he's really pulling out all the stops here. He's even got gun on his ACU to try and stop this epic assault, which is dwindling down very fast. 4-3 PD wall, pillars, ACU gun. Jeez, this is coming. This is a massacre for the Cybran. And we do have a rage quitter. Oh, I haven't seen one of them in these games so far since I've casted, well, for 2 weeks. This is the second week. But it's pretty much all over now. Unless Man of Action can come up with T3 bombers and interceptors, it's going to be... he's quit. He's gave up. It's pretty much a bad time. But however, Man of Action has got hover tanks out. Not really the best against the spam of the Aeon. I would have went for the chicken bots, which is a T2 assault bot, pretty much. However, Lameless being Lameless, has the Raz pack. So no matter what Man of Steel, no matter what anyone can do now, it's pretty much over for Brain. It's pretty much over for Man of Steel. It's 3v1. Outnumbered 3v1. However, Man of Action does have dual resource. And he is going T3 on his air factory. Will he last long enough? The eco of 3 versus the eco of 1. This is quite interesting now. Man of Steel is using all of his air, but he's going to get sniped by Mr. Smith. Let's zoom in closer and watch his ACU get blown up to smithereens by Cybran fighter bombers. There we are. He's in one pass. He's took way over half of his health, but Man of Steel is currently protecting. Well, he's trying to protect as best as he can. As we can see though, there we go. He's one more pass. And he's down 300 health. 100. Oh, this is getting anxious. And he's gone. OS has won the 3v3 fight. So that's a good game. If there is another game to be casted, I will cast it. But by the looks of it, this is the last game. Stay tuned and I will let you know. Thank you for watching.